Hi, gang. Number one Marmaduke fan here. I'm looking at Alterna Comics Go West issues 2 and 3. My LCS didn't have issue 1, but I kind of got into the swing of things. So the creator and writer is Garrett Gunn, and the artist, Saint Yak. Interior art, cover pencils. I think Saint Yak might be an up-and-comer based on some of the figure drawing I've seen in this issue. I don't dig the colors of the covers that much, so I guess a little shade on Sean Forney here. So the interiors are mostly monochrome washes. Well, not technically monochrome. It's sort of monochrome warm brown inks and monochrome gray blue inks. So you get warm and cool, and then dashes of red or little dashes of color and collage around things. So I enjoyed that. I think that the front covers, though, it's sort of got this hazy CGI JPEG effect to it. And, you know, this is like two skulls floating in front of a hazy color. Are the skulls ghost heads? Are the skulls symbolic? I wasn't that excited based on the covers, but then I get into it, and I really started digging the art style. So this is a pretty grim Western revenge story, but it's set in the future, so maybe it's like a post-apocalyptic future or something, but it has the feel of an old-timey Western story. And there's like a lot of, you know, grit and sketchiness to everything to give it that sort of flair of life. It's a pretty straightforward revenge plot. So Slade the Blade, his wife and son were murdered by, this guy's literally named Creep. And so Slade the Blade has come out of retirement to kill him. I really liked this woodcut style drawing. It's not exactly like Dur's style. Dur had a more controlled style, but it reminds me of Dur woodcuts in that it's got like this sort of real knobbly, craggy understanding of the human body, and maybe this sort of loose application of, you know, speckles of light. Maybe a little bit more of a Delacroix painterly style, but this is a really good light and shadow understanding of the human figure. So in addition to Slade the Blade, there's also this, you know, badass Western chick. I think her name is Lily, and she's going to help Slade the Blade take down Creep and his men. So over 3 issues, it's pretty much beginning, middle, and end. Bad guys do bad things. Good guys do together. Good guys team up to take down bad guys. I like this too. So sometimes it'll be a little bit more tight and controlled. Other times there'll be a little bit more, I don't know what you call this, sort of like scratchy lines on the face. And it gives it all this sort of overall rough feel. This 2-page spread, we're supposed to like come down here, and then we're supposed to come back up here and then down here. I naturally wanted to go this way, because look at the balloons. And I feel like something could have been done compositionally to help give us an arrow or a pretend arrow to point us up here to Slade the Blade, and then back down here. It's also really like half his face is getting chopped off. I wish they could have rearranged things a bit to make this the centerfold so we could see all of it. The wording, the script in some place I thought was a little verbose. Like maybe the point is that Lily's supposed to be, you know, like an intelligent Southern belle type. Like, I do declare, I do find this most auspicious occasion to be fortitudinal. You know, I kind of wish that she had a bit more of a plain, down-to-earth way of talking, like here. So she's given people heroic speech to inspire them to go potentially die and protect their homes. I urge you to look around. I urge you to look at the life we have built here and decide if you want to help ensure the continued stability of our lifestyle. Like, even if she is supposed to be like a really intelligent character, have her say like, I want you to come protect what's yours. You know, like speak when giving an inspiring speech, speak at the level of the average Joe and Jane so that they understand. Look at some of that intensity. For backgrounds, there's a tendency to use posterized effects as a like speed up tool, and they're integrated so well that it's usually pretty subtle, but you can still pick it up if you go looking for it. And I have a feeling that the artist's name, Saint Yak, I have a feeling that Saint Yak has the talent to kind of break into the mainstream, like maybe a Marvel or a DC. I just want to see a little bit more. There is a lot of, you know, excitement to the panel composition, so that's pretty good. And there is some bird's eye, worm's eye views. I just want to see a little bit more of that in interior scenes. And I also want to see maybe like less posterized photos and a little bit more concern for eye direction and complex panels. But I definitely think that Saint Yak could be a top tier artist at one of the big two. Well, not maybe too good an artist for Marvel at this point, but definitely it could be a top tier artist coming out of the gateway soon. Issue 3 is like the really violent conclusion, and I mean like graphic, blood and brains splattered everywhere kind of violence. There was like another one of these little moments. I wish the pretense of this meeting was not as it is, but I'm in need of your assistance. Like, wish we could meet under better circumstances. You know, you're talking to like a rough dude in a mohawk. I don't think he's Harvard educated, but I also for the conclusion, I sort of felt like Slade the Blade, you know, like the protagonist of the story got shown up a bit by Lily. I think that if you have deuteragonists, they both need to look cool, and they both kind of need to have like a relationship where you feel like one can't be without the other, and it sort of felt like Slade the Blade got cucked a bit by Lily in this comic. But if you like westerns, if you have a stomach for like blood and guts spraying in your face, you might look at this as like a fun, well drawn, actiony Western style revenge story. That's not my thing, but I am definitely interested in Saint Yak's style. I might just flip through this a bit may show you some blood and guts by accident, but it might be fun to see a little bit more of how Saint Yak works. I like this use of texture and kind of speckle effects in places to add a little bit more feel to the world. Even if it's technically speaking, this is sort of like face in front of blank background, but using texture makes the blank background a little bit more exciting than just a blank background. So it's a good way of economically using your time to add. Oh yeah, Todd McFarlane style, you know, dashy, sketchy boxes. It's an economical way of using your time to add some texture to the world without breaking the bank and drawing a 2-point perspective scene in every shot. So yes, here's what I was talking about, where Slade the Blade got cucked in this fight. He ought to at least, even if he got beat in a fight, he ought to at least have contributed to the bad guy going down, especially when it looks like it's not a very fair fight. The bad guy's creep's got brass knuckles and Slade the Blade's got his 2 tomahawks. Come on, make him the underdog, don't make the bad guy the underdog, or I'm almost rooting for the bad guy. So fun Alterna comics, definitely. You know, $1.50, can't go wrong, and hopefully an up and comer for the future of bigger titles. I want to see more from Saint Yak. I'm #1 Marmaduke fan. I love you guys, and I'll catch you later.